Give the call to the member for Hume.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Prime Minister. Prime Minister, data realised by Finder shows that more than a third of Australians with a mortgage are struggling to make their mortgage payments as a result of Labor's rising interest rates. Will this out-of-touch Prime Minister finally admit that Australian families always pay more under Labor?
Order. I give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. And I thank the substitute question of number 2. It comes as some surprise that they're mixing it up today.
And the member for Hume will cease interjecting.
And I'm asked about housing and the cost of housing. And I say to the member who asked the question that he does have an opportunity to do something on housing, which is to support the Housing Australia Future Fund that is before this parliament now. Because what this Housing Australia Future Fund, along with the Housing Accord and along with other measures, is aimed at doing, of course, is increasing supply of housing that has an impact on price. Economics 101
member for Groom
has an impact. Now,
the member for Groom will cease interjecting, and the member for Hume.
There is massive support out there. The Property Council of Australia.
The Prime Minister is answering a question about mortgage payments and the cost of living, and he's referencing housing. So I'm going to hear from the member for Deakin.
Thank you,
on a point of order.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. The point of order is relevance. He is speaking about the Housing Australia Future Fund, which has nothing to do with...
Resume your seat. The tag at the end of the question about the cost of policies makes what the Prime Minister is saying relevant. If you don't want him to refer to that, don't add the tag to the question. I give the call to the Prime Minister.
Very much. Thanks very much, Mr. Speaker.
The Prime Minister will just take a break. The member for Hume, if you interject again, you will be warned. Let's just get back to the question and give the call to the Prime Minister.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. They've got excited by the change of order, Mr Speaker. The Chief Executive of the Property Council of Australia said this: the legislation is an important first step to get government working together with industry to bridge the national housing deficit and stimulate new supply that Australia desperately needs. That's the Chief Executive of the Property Council. The Community Housing Industry Association, we need to get moving on building a better supply of social and affordable housing, and this legislation is an important building block. National Shelter, the Housing Australia Future Fund, is a good start to addressing the significant unmet need for social and affordable housing. The National Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Housing Association, it would start to address the housing challenge. Homelessness Australia say it's important that the Housing Australia Future Fund get going now. The Housing Industry Association supports the government's goal to build 30,000 social houses and believes it's a worthy goal to get behind. More supply means cheaper rents. The fact is that we have a comprehensive plan on housing. Those opposite, like in everything else, just have a plan to say no.